First tonight on our news weekend, out of work. More than 80 employees at Norman's Key laid off in a move that's taken social media by storm. The Department of Labor now stepping in what the minister is saying about the future. Plus, it's a celebration at Carnival Celebration Key. The first cruise ship docks with 4,000 guests, and some familiar faces are in the mix. We've got all the excitement straight ahead. And later, our Danielle Miller heads into the kitchen at Bahamas. She's getting hands-on with an authentically Bohemian dish and sharing the experience. Our news, the weekend edition, starts right now. Welcome to our news, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Berthany McDermott. 57 Bahamians and 24 foreign nationals, all working at Norman's Key, are officially out of a job tonight. That confirmation coming from Labor and the Public Service Minister Peel Glover Rule. This after videos started circulating online showing what looks like the belongings of laid-off staff outside. The move catching many off guard, including government, with the Glover Rule saying they were only given 24 hours notice before the layoffs took effect. The Labor Minister telling our news her department is now in active talks with the legal team for Norman's Key. As for why it happened, she says the company is blaming it on a slow season for business. This is a developing story and one we'll continue to follow. Over to Grand Bahama, it was a grand day as Celebration Key, Carnival's highly anticipated cruise port, officially welcomed its first ship. Thousands of excited passengers stepped onto the brand new destination, including some well-known faces. Our Talia Hall is on the island for the big moment.
The day finally arrived with color, music, and high energy. Carnival's long-awaited cruise port, Celebration Key, officially opened Saturday morning with the arrival of the Carnival Vista, carrying nearly 5,000 passengers. The Grand Bahama Brass Band set the tone as VIPs made their way off the ship. Among them, Carnival Cruise Line President Christine Duffy, and a very recognizable face, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal Shaq, is the port's chief fun officer. Duffy told the crowd this is just the beginning as Phase 1 is now complete and Phase 2 is already underway. Then came the symbolic moments. The giant key was turned and the ribbon cut, officially unlocking a new era for Grand Bahama's tourism sector. Visitors wasted no time diving into the fun, including the very first kids to tackle the 5-story sandcastle water slide. Shaq got in on the action too, hitting the basketball court, then leaving his handprints behind for Celebration Key's very own version of a Hollywood Walk of Fame. Media and executives toured the port's exclusive luxury beach club, Pearl Cove. There, Duffy hosted a Q&A session and talked about what's next for the massive development.
We believe this is really a game changer for our brand. The fact that we are able to bring 20 ships here from 10 different home ports will expose and provide the opportunity that we've already seen with a $600 million investment in this Grand Bahama Island. We have hired 1,200 Bahamians who are working here. Guests also have the ability to leave here if they want to go do a shore excursion, or if they want to go rent a boat, or if they want to go shopping in Freeport.
And she says the investment is also about empowering Grand Bahamians.
This will be the only day where we only have one ship. From here on out, next week we'll start with 2 ships calling here at Celebration Key every day.
General Manager of the Ministry for Tourism on Grand Bahama, Nuvalari Chotasing, says the development will open doors for businesses on the island.
Between now and December, and 2 million visitors next year, and in 2027, possibly 4 million visitors on this island. That represents a huge economic impact. And because of what Carnival investment means to Grand Bahama, it's certainly going to have a major impact for the economy, not just for Grand Bahama, but for the entire country.
Well, definitely a fun, historic, and exciting day on Celebration Key as they officially open their doors to the public. And with Phase 2 underway, officials say more fun is to come. Reporting for our news in Grand Bahama, I'm Talia Hall.
Thanks, Intalio. Well, tourism officials are expecting steady months ahead and what could be a strong fourth quarter. But Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism Chester Cooper says global tensions could create some challenges when it comes to air arrivals. His comments come just weeks after a tourism mission to Canada, which Cooper says is already paying off, boosting weekly flights from 26 to 36. He says the goal is to make it as easy as possible for visitors to come to the Bahamas, while also making sure Bahamians benefit too.
Air arrivals are down slightly when you compare to last year. We want to continue the growth that we've seen. I've said over and over that we are constrained somewhat by the lack of available hotel rooms. We're getting new product on stream. We are assessing the economic benefit of our cruise business. We've done an extensive study on private islands, for example, and we have put in place some strategies in the recent budget to tighten up some loopholes to ensure that we're getting a win-win for the Bahamian people.
He says group travel is trending up and strong airlifts remain a key part of the plan moving forward.
We're seeing the arrivals of more of the group business than we've seen in the past quarter. But we continue to strategize. We continue to be blessed with good proximity. We continue to build very strong airlift.
A new U.S. tariff hike could hit the Bahamas hard, and opposition leader Michael Pintard is sounding the alarm. President Donald Trump saying recently the rate will be a little over 10%. He's calling on the Davis administration to meet with business leaders now before the impact trickles down to you.
We have said before, an increase by the U.S. on any tariff is going to negatively affect the country. The business community has also signaled that they would expect an impact, and so the government has to be engaged in the discussions with the business community with respect to what they anticipate will happen to prices, and then the government has to make a decision on whether or not there'll be a corresponding decrease of our own taxes at the border to help alleviate some of the burdens that may be put on the Bahamian people.
The U.S. has been stepping up trade protection measures all year. Earlier, a flat $1 million fee was placed on every Chinese-built vessel entering a U.S. port, part of Trump's efforts to reduce reliance on Chinese manufacturing. But Pintard says Prime Minister Philip Davis has a credibility problem, arguing he's failed to meet the need of Bahamians at home, let alone on the global stage.
The Prime Minister has neglected his own constituency fairly consistently, and again, it is difficult to trust his ability to transform our country when he has failed to transform the small constituency that he has been managing for 30 years. He complains that he has complained and petitioned Mr. Christie, and that's all he could do. That's not true. You can lead to changes in your island. If you were in charge of Ministry of Works, and he was in charge of water and sewage, and again did not impact the water improvement in Kent Island.
Well, it's a pill that can prevent HIV. Health officials say it's real, and more Bahamians need to know about it. It's called PrEP, a once-daily pill that helps prevent HIV before it happens. And according to National HIV and AIDS Director Dr. Nakia Forbes, more Bahamians are starting to take it. In a recent press conference, Forbes shared that over 300 people have started the preventative treatment since the program began, with 100 of them joining just in 2024. The news comes as the country sees a decline in new HIV cases, but doctors are urging those most at risk to consider the treatment.
This pill is for people who are HIV negative, who are at, it's called a substantial risk for HIV infection. Now, who might that be? If you've had an STI in the last 6 months to a year, HIV is also transmitted by unprotected sex. So that person is eligible. If you have multiple partners and are not consistently using condoms, if your partner has multiple partners and isn't consistently using condoms.
She adds that men who have sex with men and have multiple partners are also considered high risk and should speak to their doctors. By the end of 2024, the Ministry of Health reported 156 new HIV cases and just under 4,000 people living with the virus. As for how to get PrEP,
you could speak to your primary care provider, first of all. And if they have the comfort, they can go ahead and screen. They could screen. As a matter of fact, screening has actually, for younger persons, there may be a reduced number of tests that need to be done before starting prep. But some of these things include, the test would include an HIV test because the person has to be HIV negative, and we have to confirm that before starting prep.
When Our News Weekend comes back from the break, if you live near Joe Farrington Road, then you know the struggle. Water and sewage officials say relief from muddy streets and never-ending construction is on the horizon. We'll tell you what you can expect straight ahead. And a longtime diplomat and public servant passes away, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is reflecting on her contribution. That's all coming up when Our News Weekend returns. If you live near Joe Farrington Road, then you felt frustration. Muddy streets, traffic delays, and ongoing construction, but the Water and Sewage Corporation says relief is coming soon, with road repairs and improved water access on the way. Our Joshua Williams has this update from the corporation.
If you've had to dodge potholes, sit in traffic, or deal with mucky streets near Joe Farrington Road, the Water and Sewage Corporation says relief is coming. The state-run utility company says it's nearly done with the first phase of a $1.2 million water main replacement project. One official says will upgrade water quality and lead to full road restoration.
We have completed the installation of about 1,500 feet of 10-inch main, which accounts for roughly 60% of Phase 1, which runs from Bay Lily Road to Marigold Farm Road. What remains in this first phase includes the installation of another 350 feet of the 10-inch main, laying 60 feet of 2-inch pipe at 4 key junctions, the installation and connection of service laterals to homes and businesses, and finally, the testing and commissioning of the new line, which includes hydrostatic and chlorination testing.
Water and Sewage Assistant Engineer is Henria Curry. She says the project is a collaborative effort between the corporation, the Ministry of Works and Family Island Affairs, and Bakerwick Construction, and is expected to last for 2 weeks.
Once we wrap up this first phase, we will continue moving east toward Foxhill Road. After all pipe installation is complete, we will conduct final testing and then commission the new line. Once it is live and performing as expected, the old line will be taken out of service. From there, the Ministry of Works will begin full road repaving, which we know residents are eagerly looking forward to.
But for now, delays and detours remain. But Curry says the benefits will far outweigh the inconvenience.
In closing, I want to emphasize that this project is improving the daily lives of residents by ensuring that they have access to clean, reliable water. We recognize that road works can be inconvenient, and we sincerely thank the community for their continued patience and cooperation as we carry out these essential works.
So, smoother roads, cleaner water, and a project they say is on schedule. Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
Thanks, Joshua. A 3-day basketball camp hosted by Life Changers Ministry International wrapped up Saturday with a tournament that pitted church members against the community. The free camp open to boys and girls ages 5 to 15 as part of the church's ongoing push to make what it calls a kingdom impact beyond the walls of the sanctuary. Senior Pastor Bishop Valentino Williams says ministry is about meeting people where they are, and in this case, that was Bacardi Road Park. Dozens took part in today's tournament titled Church versus Community, which included a basketball game, a three-point shootout, and more. Bishop Williams says events like this create common ground while building faith, fellowship, and the future.
It's a commandment from Jesus. Go into all the world. And so if we're going to go into all the world, we have to come out of the four walls. The reality is, if our nation is going to change, if things are going to get better, we have to meet people where they are. We have to meet these young people. These are the ones who are really committing crime in our nation. These are the ones who are suicidal. And so we have to bend the tree while they're young. Blend the tree while they're pliable, and I believe we'll be in for a better future.
And while the action was on the court, attendees also enjoyed meals right from the church's food truck. It was just another way the ministry is reaching out to the community.
It's called City Eats Food Truck, and when we purchased the food truck 2 years ago, the vision behind it was to really do our endeavor to eradicate hunger in our nation. And so whenever we bring the food truck out, the food is free.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is mourning the loss of Ambassador A. Sherman Peter, who passed away Friday in New York City, surrounded by family. In a statement, the ministry remembered her outstanding career in diplomacy and public service, including roles as Consul General in New York, High Commissioner to Canada, and non-resident High Commissioner to Zimbabwe, among others. Sherman Peter also served as a permanent secretary in several key ministries, including Foreign Affairs, National Security, and the Attorney General's office. Her final post before retirement was an ambassador and permanent observer for CARICOM at the United Nations. And in 2024, she was awarded the Order of Distinction. On behalf of all of us here at Our News, we extend our deepest condolences to her family. Still to come on Our News Weekend, bringing the party to life. A night filled with reggae classics is 1 week away, and organizers are telling you why you won't want to miss it. Plus,
Bahamians return from the diamond after the All-Star break, and summer beach soccer starts up again. All that's coming up next on Our Sports Weekend.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you, and I say to myself, what a wonderful
Good evening, welcome to Our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. The All-Star break ended yesterday with Bahamians returning to the field in the major and the minor leagues. Here's how things panned out on Friday night. It was a rough night for our guys in New York. Coach Anton Richardson and the New York Mets fell 8-4 to the Cincinnati Reds. Their All-Stars Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, and Pete Alonso won a combined 1 for 13 in the game, with Soto getting the lone hit between the three, a solo home run in the first inning. Jazzism and the boys from the Bronx didn't fare much better, losing 7-3 to the Atlanta Braves. Jazz was hitless in that one, going 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Down in the minors, Sebastian Walcott went 1 for 5 with a single and an RBI, but his Frisco Rough Riders lost to the Corpus Christi Hucks 7-3 in 10 innings. And Kristen Robinson went 1 for 5 with a single as Amarillo Sod Poodles beat up on the San Antonio Missions 6-0. Now, all our guys are back at it today, so check in with us tomorrow and we'll have those scores for you. Now we head over to the Sand, where our local beach soccer squads prepare to return to action. The Nassau Beach Soccer Tournament returns to action tonight. Men and women's squads will participate in round-robin action at the Beach Soccer Stadium by the Sir Sidney Poitier Bridge. Carib FC is playing Future Stars right now. Coastal Crusaders are playing Bahamas Latin at 8 p.m. And then the Western Warriors will take on the Beach Blazers at 9 p.m. in tonight's finale. The tournament is hosted by Beach Soccer captain Leslie St. Fleur. The tournament's organizers at the BFA promise a great time for the whole family. Tickets are $3 for adults and $2 for kids, and there will be all sorts of snacks and entertainment in addition to some very exciting soccer. Matches start at 6 p.m. sharp every Friday and Saturday until the tournament concludes on August 4th. But that's a wrap for sports this evening. For Our Sports Weekend, I'm Tej Adderley. I'll see you again tomorrow night.
Thanks, Tej. When Our News Weekend comes back from the break, we've got a look at temperatures this weekend and your weekly weather planner. Plus, our Danielle Miller brings flair to the kitchen as she learns how to prepare a classic Bahamian dish. We'll show you more from her lesson when Our News returns.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you, and I say to myself, what a wonderful
back to our news weekend. Clear skies outside the Our News studios this evening. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie joins us now with your weekend weather. Ian.
Thanks, Berthany, and good evening, Bahamas. Welcome to your Saturday evening forecast. Gorgeous day across the country. Currently outside our studios, we're under fair skies with a temperature of 85. Very warm still, feels like at 91. Winds from the northeast at 10 miles per hour. Temperatures across the country at this time, we have 86s in Freeport, Allenstown, Nicholstown, and in Great Harbor Key, a pair of 85s in the capital and in Marsh Harbor, 84 in Governor Sabry, Luthra. Central Bahamas, we have 85s in Kemps Bay, Georgetown, Port Nelson, and in Arthurstown, Kid Island. Set of 84s in Black Point, Deadman's Key, and in Coburn Town, San Salvador. Southeast Bahamas continue with those 84s in Duncantown, 85s in Colonel Hill, Delectable Bay, Abrahams Bay, and in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos. 87, the hot spot in Matthewtown in Agua. Satellite and radar imagery, gorgeous conditions across the country. This is all courtesy of that high pressure system that will continue to dominate weather conditions through tomorrow. Chance of a few pop-up showers, not much to talk about. Now taking a look at the tropics where we're beginning to get into that active part of the season. There is a 20% chance for possible development well to the east of the Lesser Antilles. That is all courtesy of a tropical wave embedded in a low pressure system. Elsewhere, we're also watching what was formerly Invest 93L, expected to possibly redevelop and become Dexter sometime next week in the Gulf area. North of Bermuda, also an area to watch. They are not giving it too much of a chance at this time, but still something to monitor. Boating forecasts across the northwest and central areas. We're looking at winds east to southeast 10 to 15, seas running 2 to 4 feet. Low tide at 10:15 p.m. tonight. High tide at 3:58 a.m. tomorrow morning. Southeast Bahamas, a tad bit stronger winds out there. Caution for you boaters and a risk of rip currents for you swimmers. Winds easterly 15 to 20, seas running 4 to 6 feet over the ocean. In your extended forecast, as we get deeper into the summer, pop-up showers here and there. Monday through Monday. Tuesday, greater chance for some more showers and thunderstorm activity, and then we get clearing out into the end of the week, into the weekend. So go out, enjoy, have fun, but stay hydrated. Those temperatures will continue to soar in the upper 80s, low 90s, with your low temperatures hanging in the upper 70s, low 80s. That's a wrap in evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
Thanks, Ian. It's said to be a regular enthusiast dream event. For 27 years, the One Blunt Old School Reggae Party has been a signature for old school reggae lovers. The event will be held at Clifford Park on July 26th with a featured performance by Junior Reid. Spirits and brand representative for Commonwealth Brewery, Notori Austin, explains why CBL has continued to support the event and how it quenches the thirst of a niche market.
This is going on the third year of Commonwealth Brewery sponsoring One Blood. We chose to sponsor it because it kind of aligns with our brand values. Johnny Walker and Guinness usually are the brands that bring the vibes, and we found a perfect event within the community where people are excited to attend and get that nostalgic vibe.
CBL's leading brand for the event is the popular Scotch whiskey Johnny Walker. Austin says they plan to expose guests to a variety of cocktails that whiskey can be used to create.
This year, we wanted to focus on showing consumers how they can really mix the Johnny Walker. A lot of times you find that consumers enjoy it neat, but we wanted to kind of elevate that aspect and consumer thinking, showing that you can enjoy cocktails with Johnny Walker, whether it may be sweet, spicy, any good flavor that you want to mix Johnny Walker with. That's where we want to focus on this year.
And now we continue our Bohemian Food adventures with entertainment correspondent Danielle Miller. But this time, she's in the kitchen. In our final story tonight, she's preparing a traditional meal while enjoying an extraordinary experience at Bahamas.
Two things that make me uniquely Bahamian is the fact that I can go from the Queen's English to dialect real quick. And Queen's English to dialect real quick on Danielle. One more thing. And the other thing would be sometimes I'm very extra.
That was my response to guest experience chef of the kitchen at Bahamas, Chef Tevin Kemp. During a recent culinary event fueled with high energy and held in honor of Independence Day, we were taught to make a true Bahamian classic, cooking up Bahamian mac and cheese, coleslaw, steamed grouper, and my personal favorite, crab and rice. To add that iconic cultural flair, there were periodic dance breaks and the occasional sipping of ginger hibiscus lemonade and spirited beverages. The aura in the kitchen exemplifying that extra flavor our culture is known for.
I like to see my seasonings. If I can't see my seasonings, the party ain't right. I sweet mouth. I need more sugar and my coleslaw.
Once our dishes were complete, Chef Kemp demonstrated the art of plating a meal. And then it was time to end the experience with a taste test.
Tell me what you think. She seasoned, she got flavor.
Of course I do this.
I think it's been an amazing experience from just being able to not just cook some Bahamian food and cultural cuisine, but also drinking some rum, some sky juice inside there and making flavors happen. No matter where you're from in the Bahamas, it always shows that everybody cooks differently, but what brings us together is the same flavors and the same roots.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
Danielle, I'll be waiting for my plate. And thank you for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Berthany McDermott. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Make it a great weekend, everyone.
Hey guys, Megan Shepherd here. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Just click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications so you stay up to date with content like this from the team you already trust.